Hey guys, it's Pam from North Carolina. I'm getting ready to show you my version of ombre with a little bit of balayage highlighting. I'm going to be using two products. I'm going to be using a high lift tint 1517 with double 40 volume from Keune, and I'm also going to use their cream bleach lightener with 30 volume. I'm going to be using foils with a see-through panel, cellophane see-through panel. And I'm going to be taking about 3/4 to 1 inch sections. We're going to flip to another screen now, and you're going to see me going in fast motion. But I wanted to let you know that it's not going to be a video that's in slow motion. So what I like to do is I take my 1517 high lift tint, which is in my brush right now, and I'm just kind of gauging the place where I want it to begin. This is a soft golden color on a level 3, 4, or 5. Usually comes up to a pretty golden. And you're going to see me putting the 1517 about the high lift tint about the place that I want to kind of gauge it. And I kind of put streaks. And if you notice my sectioning pattern, it's about 3/4 to 1 inch. But do you see the wiggle that I start with it? So when I'm coming up there with my highlights, it won't be in a complete straight line. I've got a comb in my hand and I'm blending out any harsh lines. And right here I'm taking my bleach lightener and going right over top of the high lift blonde. Tends to soften it a little bit, so if you want really light blonde ends, then you would not bring your high lift tint down through to the ends. But in this case I'm bringing my high lift tint right down through to the ends, or at least close to it, and then going over top with my lightener. And what I'm doing now is just freehanding some highlights in there so that there's no abrupt stop. I like the more natural look of the ombre. I'm not a big fan of the harsh line of it that I see sometimes. Although it is lovely, I'm just not a fan of it. I like this more natural blended look. Something that's easy to upkeep and maintain. But this is, a lot of the ombres, they're not that difficult to maintain. You just have to bring everything up. And of course, if you're going to do this for somebody, you should cut their hair first. So that's my 1517, my high lift tint. I'm just working through with the comb. And there's my powder lightener. And I'm picking up some selective pieces just so I get a nice blend through. Kind of like a gal who hangs out at the beach or plays sports all day. If she pulls her hair back in a ponytail, her ends are ultra light. And then you see highlights just coming through. So we're just trying to mimic that effect of somebody who would wear a ponytail pulled back. And again, so we can get some variation coming up through to the top. Although I've done it before, the complete brown top with the blended golden into the super light ends, I like to see highlights run up and run through. So if we were just doing a standard ombre, what you see me doing now would be the end of the story. But you're going to see me coming up and putting highlights into this section closer to the scalp. So that kind of takes away that that type of ombre look, takes it away. Even though I've seen ombre have some highlights around the face like this, sometimes you'd see it, there aren't any at all. Just depends on your creativity and your eye and what your clientele wants or what you want to do. I like those see-through foils, and I usually just crink up one side as long as I'm not pushing any hair around. For this kind of process, you want to have section by section by section, so you're not going to be skipping any hair in between. The idea is to get all of these ends real light with I think they call it a gradient or a graduation of hair color into darker, so light into golden, into the natural level, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And if you want to do a special effects one, of course you can tint the ends pink or something like that, pink, and then come up with an intense red. That would be kind of cool too. And this is kind of fun to do, a little sloppy, but fun to do if you do a permanent retouch and pull your semi-permanent through to the ends and then start balayaging over your process color. That's kind of fun. It kind of looks more natural too done that way. Although this is natural, because when you see young people who hang out at the beach, their ends are intensely light with even platinum streaks running through. They're just not set perfectly. So it could be natural, but see how I'm getting some lighter pieces up in through? You can stagger those even more, but there I'm just making sure that the color is seeped through. If not, sometimes you get like speckles. And only because I like to check each foil is the only reason I put the hair in its own foil. I suppose you could lay that down and just go one on top of the other over to the other. That would be fine too if you don't want to use a lot of foil. And you could do this if you wanted to, just make 2 or 3 pigtails and hit the ends, a couple inches of the ends with your lightener, and then maybe use a level 9 or a level 10 golden with the appropriate volume of developer. But then you wouldn't see any highlights from the scalp area. And it's a very nice look. I've done it before, but I like this one where the highlights kind of run in through the front. So if you're doing any of the teasing or the back combing kind of ombre, you kind of can't do this part. Not easily anyway. So this is why I like to do it this way, because I like highlights. Although the teasing of the ends is it's a very nice technique. I just don't think you get any highlights or streaks that way. But hey, try every way that you see. Get a mannequin out, or find somebody's friend, or go 2 towns away and get a job in a salon and just start having fun. You won't know unless you try, and you won't get better unless you practice. So I've done a handful of these. I've been a hairstylist for 18 years now, and actually started teaching beauty school part-time, which I love. But practice makes perfect. So there's my comb, just kind of making sure the color is running through. And if you've not tried using a comb, just give it a try. I always say give something a try. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. So I'm coming through the front here, and I've already completed this side, but I decided for kicks and giggles I would put a few more pieces in there just to show you guys. And by doing it this way, coming from the back side, I'm not actually going to see the highlights in through the front, which I thought was a little bit softer. Plus, when you don't have to worry about strong regrowth lines. And then the thing that I like most about what I'm doing here is just the wiggled sections that are about 3/4 to 1 inch apart. Pick up selective pieces. I'm using 2 different colors. I'm using a cream bleach, and I'm using a high lift tint. And I think she processed for about 20 or 25 minutes on this side. She processed for about an hour and a half on the other side because we went out to dinner. And I'm overlapping my bleach over top of my high lift tint. If you wanted the ends to be more intense, you just wouldn't go over the high lift tint at the ends. You would leave the high lift tint off the ends and just use your powder lightener and feather up into that one area. I didn't tone her at the end. I'm going to do something else with her next, so I didn't even want to bother with that, and I thought the golden would be pretty. So I guess you get the idea. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know. Try to answer. And I'm going to have, at the end, you're going to be able to see her completed with, I think I put some curls in the bottom. Thanks for watching. Give this ombre balayage natural look a try. Have some fun. Do some hair and have some fun. If you want to see more pics of what I do, real live people, you can go to PamPerryHair.com. And I have a Facebook fan page. It's Pam Perry Hair. And that's Miss Maria Mannequin from Mariana. She's tough to get. I can't find her as much anymore, but she's a great mannequin, especially for updos. Thanks, guys.